people love telling one side of the story and people love hearing one side of the story and not going back to check the facts per. Cause I heard like 5 stories on why you're upset at me, and I'm like, I didn't know, not now one of them.
I don't like you and the banana.
Child, if it's one thing about quarantine, you gonna come out a whole new person.
Mama on the beat.
I ain't gotta get for no tennis bracelet. I need 20 bands for an anklet. He gave me feet, now I got the tech. These only want that cause they hurt.
I sing a sad song with my house. Do that dance here with my house. I got bands, yeah, I got bones.
What's up? It's your girl Zamaya, aka Maya Olivia, and I'm back at it again with another YouTube video. I don't know, y'all. Let me know if that was smooth. So we finna come into this video because basically I just decided to go ahead and start doing some commentary, because I always be going on my private story or whatever, and like, or just, you know, just regular stories or whatever, and I just be saying what I be saying, like, and do. But I feel like I need to bring that to YouTube because why not? So we just gonna get into the topic for today, and which has kind of been weighing on my heart based off of one question. And it is basically like fake friends and haters and all that. I started with the main question. I'm sorry, I'm trying to put on my Pandora bracelet, and if you know anything about that and trying to put it on yourself, like, first of all, I want to say, if you seeing this and we have beef, or matter of fact, first of all, I don't have beef with nobody. If we seeing this and we used to have beef or something, or you feel some type of way about me about a certain situation, do what you want. I don't care. I'm not really talking about certain situations in here. I may, but I'm not going to say your name or nothing because that's just stupid. My first question that I asked in some group chats I'm in was, okay, what if your close friend is beefing with someone, are you automatically beefing as well? So if your close or slash best friend is beefing with someone, are you automatically beefing as well? I feel it really depends, and we had a nice little conversation about this, because it's like, if you're okay, so if it's somebody who's just known for being in mess, it's like, okay, I'm gonna just distance myself, but we're not gonna be beefing. Like, at the end of the day, I'm not gonna beef with nobody that I didn't, the situation, if it wasn't between me and you, then I'm not gonna beef with you. I'm gonna just like leave, or like just not talk to you like that. And you know, I get that's your friend, that's your ride or die, you get what I'm saying, but like, I don't too much like mess with the whole just beefing with people, like, because it's like people be creating fake beef. Like, where do you, for what? Like, sis, I didn't even talk to you. Like, the situation, you don't even know the whole situation. Like, and that's another thing, like, people, I'm sorry, in these commentaries you're gonna hear a lot of likes, but people love creating fake beef. Because I heard like 5 stories on why you're upset at me, and I'm like, I didn't know, not now one of them. You know what, forget it, I'm not putting this on. It was just aggravating me too much. People just do too much. People always try to stay in beef, and I just don't like that. Like, why are you so obsessed with being in beef? Like, what's the problem? And it's like, people be beefing with you and you don't even know. It's like, one day you could just feel like, oh, you know, I'm gonna randomly hit so and so up, and then they don't respond, or they leave you on red, or they go off like,
I don't like you and the banana.
like, I didn't know that, but okay. That's cool. But like, where did the beef come from? Where did this originate? I hate that. I hate it so much, because it's like, you're doing so much unnecessary stuff right now, and I'm just slowly coming to the realization in my life that people are gonna hate you, and you just gotta roll with the punches, honey, because a lot of people love Beyonce, but a lot of people hate Beyonce. A lot of people love Michael Jackson. A lot of people hate Michael Jackson. A lot of people love Jesus, and they nailed that man to the cross. Because I'm not gonna lie, like, I really used to be big on like what people cared about, what people said about me, and not being viewed as like a bad person, because I'm not a bad person. No way this thing is about to go dead. Hold on, y'all. Child, I'm gonna be on my phone for a little bit, and then I'm gonna just have to catch on when I'm done getting ready. I'm sorry, this is the whole booty looking first commentary video. As I was saying, like, I don't feel like I'm a bad person, and I don't really feel like anybody's a bad person. You just catch people in bad situations. Some people you just don't need to mess with. Some people you don't need to mess with, and some people you don't need to associate with, because they need to still grow. And then another thing I brought up was like, people love going by one side of the story. And that was like one of my main arguments of like, or like one of my main points, because people love telling one side of the story and people love hearing one side of the story and not going back to check the facts. That's just one of the main things. Like, people love to assume, people love to think based off of one thing that happened, that you're just such a horrible person and you do this, that, and the third. And then, like, even if it's multiple things that happen, people don't care to look at any of the other sides, because it's like, oh, well, you're already known for being in these types of situations. And yes, I'm talking about my own situations, because a lot of people are like, oh, because I've been seeing how you move. But it's like, anyway. I'm getting too close. People are gonna sue me. People just always try to make you out to be like a bad person. And it's the fact that people believe it. Like, and I was also saying, like, we think cancel culture is only among like celebrities and, you know, well-known people on the internet or whatever. But it's very much in our day-to-day lives. Very much. Y'all be canceling people. Y'all don't call it canceling. But as soon as you hear something about what somebody did in a certain situation, it's all like, oh, I'm not going to talk to her no more. I'm not going to talk. I know it looks like a block, but just wait for the other one. It's just like, it's just toxic. Like, it's just very toxic. And honestly, those are just the people that you just got to stay away from, because at the end of the day, if you're going to mess with me at first, but then you hear one thing about me or two thing or three thing, I don't care. But you been knew me, never did nothing to you. You know I'm a lovable person. You know all that, but you get upset and you get all bunched up in your underwear or whatever when you hear something about me and between one of your friends. Like, okay, but what that got to do with me and you? And I thought I was gonna be met with like, oh yeah, if my friend beefing, I'm beefing too. Yeah. When I was asking this in the group chat, but people was like, no, like, if we're not beefing personally, then I don't have beef against you. But if you're known for stuff like that, I'm gonna distance myself, or I'm just not gonna talk to you or talk about, you know what I'm saying, around my friend that you have beef with, which I completely agree with. Like, I completely agree. I'm not trying to victimize myself, because I know there are a lot of things that I have done bad, and I am really working on it. Like, if you don't follow me on social media, but like, if you don't follow me like on my Instagram or whatever, you wouldn't know. But like, I mean, I'm trying to like bring it more to my YouTube channel as well. Like, I'm a Christian. I love God, love Jesus, all that. Anyway, I watch Transformation Church, and I be posting that, like, you know, like almost every Sunday, like, oh y'all watching Transformation, you know, you know, with Pastor Mike Todd and all that, you know, that's my boy. There's this one series that he had like a month or two ago called Forgiveness University, aka FU. And, you know, my mom recommended that I watch that because, and I'm still working on watching that, y'all. It's kind of been rough. But, you know, it's just really because I realized that I have a lot of angst and a lot of hate in my heart for a lot of people in a lot of situations. And I've been working on apologizing to people. I've been working on, you know, bettering myself, because I walk around, I don't know if anybody else does this, but when you're angry on the inside, but you don't like outwardly show it all the time, you're gonna do it like mentally and like physically to yourself. Like, I didn't notice that I grit my teeth a lot when I'm just like relaxing. Like, I'm just sitting like with my teeth gritted because I'm so angry. But I'm not like, you get what I'm saying? Like, you don't feel angry, but you are. And I feel like a lot of people, like, if you're Christian, even if you're not, like, you can still look at it, because a lot of people, I feel like a lot of people go through it, especially since the fact that I didn't even know that I was angry like that. I know I was angry at people for things, but I didn't really realize that I was an angry person. But anyway, going back to the series, it's like, you know, going through and basically forgiving yourself as well, because it's a lot of things that I have not forgiven myself for. And it's like, you gotta forgive yourself before you go and try to forgive other people. And you know what I'm saying? And you can't really beg for people to be like, oh, I forgive you and this, that, and the third. But you just gotta be content with yourself. And that's one thing that I never really was good at, because I don't know, I don't really want to blame like my home situation for stuff, but I mean, like, that's just what makes you. So I grew up alone, basically. I grew up alone for like 10 years of my life. I grew up with no cousins, I grew up with a cousin, but she lived in like Florida. Well, she lives in Florida, but like, and you know, we only used to see each other like sometimes, but didn't talk to no kids in the neighborhood. I was just one of those people just stayed to themselves. I wasn't weird, but like, I just stayed to myself. And, you know, I was content with that, but, you know, sometimes I'll be lonely. But anyway, people who grow up like that, they only know how to really deal with they know how to deal with their own emotions when they're by themselves. But when it comes to interacting with other people and other people's emotions, they don't know how to do that. Like, and that's just facts. Like, if you don't grow up talking to nobody and you don't grow up, like, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to know how to deal with other people's feelings. Not blaming my parents, not blaming my people around me. That was just the person I was, like, you know what I'm saying? That's just how I grew up, and that's what it was. Like, you know what I'm saying? There are times when I've caught myself, like, being selfish or being rude in how I talk to people. And I'm like, ooh, that was bad. Like, you know, I try to fix it. I try to, you know, I didn't know that, like, I grew up thinking if you're like, oh, I'm gonna apologize to you, and like, you know what you see on like the Blue's Clues and all that, like if you apologize to somebody, they're gonna be like, okay, and then now they're friends again. But that doesn't really prepare you for the real world, because people are gonna forgive you, but they're not gonna be your friends again, or they're not gonna want to mess with you anymore. And that's one thing that I really like had to really come to terms with, because a lot of people, they're just not gonna mess with you. And I completely understand that, because I do the same thing like nowadays. Like, you know what I'm saying? I never really started having beef until I came into high school too. So honestly, child, if you're not in high school, or if you're like freshman or whatever, you're gonna have beef sometimes in high school. I'm sorry, you're gonna have beef. It's inevitable in life. Like, you're gonna have beef in life, and you really just gotta get, no matter how good of a person you think you are, you know what I'm saying, somebody's gonna catch you at the wrong time. You're gonna be in your feelings about something, and it's just gonna be a whole beef, and you're just gonna have to get with it, honey. There's 7 billion people in the world, honey. Everybody else can mess with you, but you just gonna have to get, not everybody else can, but you know what I'm saying. You really just gotta come to the realization about like forgiveness and all that. You really gotta forgive yourself, and you really have to work on, you know, striving to be a better person. And even if you end up becoming a better person, you and that person are probably not gonna be friends anymore. And you know, that's just that on that, because that was a lesson. They probably weren't supposed to be in your life anyway. You know, people put God in your life for, God put people in your life for certain things, and if they weren't staying, then they were a lesson, honestly. And you just gotta really live with that. You gotta live with the stuff that you do, honestly. But people are just gonna be people at the end of the day. Like, you get what I'm saying? So also, like, I don't like this whole like hater culture, because did I say that? I don't think I did. But basically, like, people always like emphasize having haters and all that. And of course, having haters is going to be inevitable, because as I said plenty of times throughout this video, everybody's not going to like you and all that. But it's like people be searching for haters. Like, why are you searching to be hated? Like, what? That's just weird. I don't like people like that, and I don't like that. Like, of course, I know that I realize that everybody's not gonna like me, and I realize that there's stuff that I do that people are not gonna like, and people are not really gonna gravitate towards. But I'm not gonna. And of course, I know I'd be like, oh, people be hating. And, you know, like, that's just regular stuff everybody else say. Like, it's not that deep, but people be really searching for haters and searching for beef. As I said earlier, people be searching for beef. Like, it's just weird how life is set up. Like, people always searching for something to be mad at. People walk around being angry at the world. that's a different topic. I hate people like that. Like, why are you waiting? It's like people be walking around ready to snap, and that may be like, you know, home life and all that, but some people, it's like, I know you don't have no reason to be upset at nobody in this room, but you are upset at everybody for some reason. But anyway, that's that's another topic for a different commentary video. But, you know, it's just people, man. Well, most people aren't really like ready for necessarily people and like living in the world and all that. But you know what I'm saying? As long as you are fine with what you do, and as long as you are growing yourself and you are realizing some stuff that you do is wrong and all that, and you're, you know, trying to right your wrongs within yourself and with other people, you should be fine, honestly, in the world, because it just really comes down to not caring what people think. It really comes down to being content with yourself and being content with your past and just moving along. And you know what I'm saying? Just really finding your groove in the world. You get what I'm saying? Because, you know, you can think you're the nicest person, but people may honestly think that you're not. And that's fine, honey, because of course everybody messes up. The only person who is perfect is Jesus himself. So it's, you know, and I feel like that's another thing, but that's another topic for another time, because I really held myself to like a really high standard, not being like full of myself per se, but you get what I'm saying. But that's really another topic for another time. That's a whole nother video, like self-confidence and all that. Yeah, girl. We can continue this conversation down in the comments. I was trying to finish before I finished the video, but I kind of gotta go in a little bit. We can finish this conversation down in the comments. Let me know how y'all like, you know, me talking or whatever. Let me know some points. Let me know how you feel so we can talk about it in the comments. I'm gonna try to respond. Of course, I respond to like mostly everybody. That is the end of this video pretty much. And let me know how you guys feel about my commentary videos. Make sure that you guys like, comment, and if you love me so much that you want to see it again, make sure that you subscribe, you guys. And yeah, I guess I will see you guys in the next video.
I sing a sad song with my heart. Do the dance here with my heart. I got